Hey guys, Bryce and Ramos, and man, this Miami Dolphins team, 4 out of their last 5 wins. They improved their record to 5-7 after defeating the New Orleans Saints 21-17 in a crazy game down in Miami in Hard Rock Stadium. It was raining so much pregame, and then after the fact, it still rained during the game a little bit, but it wasn't as bad as the rain was moments before kickoff. But great field conditions, surprisingly so. Was really impressed with how the drainage worked and how the Dolphins maintenance, the field maintenance crew, was able to handle it and make sure it wasn't as soaking wet as possible around the time of kickoff. And then after that, once it started raining, what can you do after that? But man, this Miami Dolphins team finds ways to wins now, and you know I will say it's against a not great opponent in the New Orleans Saints, a team that struggles with a very young roster, very inexperienced, not a deep depth of good players who can really impact and make winning plays. So when you take that into consideration, there's a lot of work to be done for this Dolphins team if they really think they have a decent chance. But you gotta take the wins when you can, and the Dolphins almost slipped that one up. So in that sense, it's a little upsetting to see this type of performance from the Dolphins. Only one offensive touchdown, and it came on your first drive of the game. And you're able to kick a bunch of field goals. You're able to get 12 points out of Riley Patterson, but not much else after that. So real concern for this Dolphins team moving forward. But hey, they got the win. They got out relatively healthy, so you got to take that as it is. Now, as normal, we're going to go through the team stats. We're going to go through the highlight, box score, last but not least, how the Dolphins addressed their keys to victory. So let's start with the team stats. We're going to jump straight to third down efficiency, where both teams went 4 of 12. So very funny to see this kind of mirrored. Also, fourth down efficiency, same thing, 0 for 1. We'll show, I think, both failed fourth down conversions in the highlight. Outside of that, let's talk about penalties. We'll go to red zone made per attempt. Saints were 2 of 2. Dolphins were 0 of 2. So not great red zone offense. That's why the Dolphins were able to get a lot of field goals on the board. But still, it hurts to see this Dolphins team not capitalize and get the ball in the end zone as much as they probably should be able to. Outside of that, let's talk about penalties. Saints had 6 penalties for 45 total yards. Dolphins had 3 penalties for a total of 15 total yards. Saints turned over the ball twice. Dolphins turned it over once. And then last but not least, time of possession. Pretty split even here. 29 minutes, 52 seconds for the Saints. 30 minutes and 8 seconds for the Miami Dolphins. Now, we're going to get into the highlight. And just as normal, I don't have the rights to this footage, so if NFL, YouTube wants to take it off the platform, they are more than welcome to, and if there's any random jumps in the highlight, you will understand. But outside of that, let's get into it. So, like I mentioned earlier, rainy day at Hard Rock Stadium, and Mike McDaniel is trying to find the clearest spot in the sky because it would help guide Devon Achane for this big 29-yard rushing touchdown in the opening drive, puts the Dolphins ahead up early. Later on in the first quarter, Minka Fitzpatrick strip sacks Tyler Shuck, and Zach Steeler comes up with the fumble recovery, puts the Dolphins in great position. Unfortunately, can't capitalize because Tua throws an errant interception, targeting Jalen Waddle. Not the best thought process there. Coverage was really, really emphasized on Waddle on that one. Kool-Aid McKinstry comes down with the pick there. But Dolphins were able to capitalize as well. They got a pick of their own with Rasul Douglas. It would set the Dolphins up for a 13-0 lead just before the half. Rasul Douglas really excited to be back into this Dolphins secondary right now. Tyler Shuck would bounce back and find Chris Olave in the end zone. And how about this? Rushes it in for a 2-point conversion. Now the Saints, by this point, were down 8 points. Dolphins needing a first down here on 4th. Ollie Gordon comes down short of the line to gain, and Kool-Aid McKinstry was there to make the big-time defensive play once again. Now, how about this catch by Vele? Tyler Shuck found the back of the end zone with him. Now, ensuing two-point conversion, Minkah Fitzpatrick. There's not a soul around him. He's just running down the sideline for the rare pick 2. Puts the Dolphins ahead, but they're not. The bag is not secured just yet because ensuing Saints kickoff. Oh no! It bounces off a Dolphins player and hits a Vele's hand once again. But on 4th down, Dolphins defense able to make the crucial stop and get the Saints off the field in the final 2 minutes of the game. Mike McDaniel improves. But there was a weird situation where Dolphins took a knee right after that. Clock would have ran out. And Kellen Moore decides to call a timeout. Listen, man. You can be salty all you want. Let the game finish when the game needs to finish. There's no need to extend or delay the end of this process here. Alright? It is what it is. It's a stupid situation to happen. And, I just think it's very sore loserish to happen and do. So not so much respect in the direction of Kellen Moore. Now let's talk about some stats here. We'll start with the Saints, where we have Tyler Shuck going 29 of 38, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 4 times for a loss of 26 yards. Not a bad day for the rookie, considering the strength of this defense as of late, has been put to the test. And Tyler Shuck, I would say more so, passed the test here. Got 2 passing touchdowns against this defense, where secondary kind of in question, but still making plays. I mean, they got an interception, a strip sack, so the defense did their thing, and Tyler Shuck also kind of did his thing. Let's talk about Tua. 12 of 23, 157 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception, sacked 4 times for a loss of 23 yards. Not a best day for Tua whatsoever. Let's talk about rushing. Dolphins held the Saints to 81 rushing yards total, led by Devin Neal, 14 carries of 47 yards. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, Devon Achane has another 100-plus yard performance with 134 yards on the ground off of 22 carries and a touchdown, longest of 29. And then the rest of the group helped round it up by another 30 yards. So not the best help in terms of depth, but Devon Achane, once again, being the star that keeps on shining for this Dolphins offense. Now for the New Orleans Saints, Devon Vele had 8 receptions, 93 total yards, 1 touchdown, longest of 15. He caught every ball that was thrown his way and also recovered that onside kick. Outside of that, Chris Olave, 4 receptions, 47 total yards. Juwan Johnson, 5 receptions, 39 yards. And I'm not going to mention the rest of the crew there, but they had 239 yards receiving. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, not the best day passing or receiving. Darren Waller, 2 receptions for 47 total yards. He had a big 34-yarder. Outside of that, not much else going on for him. Jalen Waddle, 3 receptions for 40 yards. He had a big 22-yarder off of 6 targets. So not the best performance by Waddle, but he was heavily blanketed. Malik Washington, 4 receptions for 30 yards. Greg Dulcich, 2 receptions for 24. Cedric Wilson Jr., 1 reception for 16. Let's talk about fumbles. Tyler Shuck fumbled, and Zach Sealer was able to recover it. And then Tua also fumbled, but he was able to get on top of it. Now let's go to the defensive side of the ball. We'll start with the Saints. 9 total tackles by Demario Davis, 5 solo, and then we'll keep on going. Terrell Burgess, 7 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 pass deflection. Jonas Stanker, 5 total tackles, 1 solo. And then some key stats here. Cameron Jordan, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, 3 QB hits. Brian Brees, the rookie, had 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 QB hit. Jordan Howden, 1 tackle for a loss. Kool-Aid McKinstry, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass deflection, and an interception. Chase Young, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 QB hit. Quincy Riley with a pass deflection. Isaiah Stallbird with a QB hit. Now for the Miami Dolphins, Jordan Brooks leading the team once again with 12 total tackles, 4 solo. He's on the verge of breaking this guy's tackle record as a Miami Dolphin. So let's see what happens there, but he's having a great time being the main focal point of this Dolphins defense in terms of making sure tackles are being made. He has also had one tackle for a loss. Terrell Dodson right there with him. 8 total for solo with a pass deflection as well. Minka Fitzpatrick, 7 total tackles, 4 solo. 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 QB hit, and also the pick 2. Let's talk about other key stats here. We have Rasul Douglas with a pass deflection and interception. Chop Robinson with 1.5 sacks and a tackle for a loss, and 3 QB hits. Zach Sealer with a tackle for a loss and a fumble recovery. Bradley Chubb with 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 QB hit. Matthew Judon with a pass deflection and 2 QB hits. Benito Jones with 1 pass deflection. Zeke Biggers with half a sack and a QB hit. And then last but not least, we got Cameron Gode with a pass deflection. Same for Willie Gay Jr. Now let's talk about kick returns. Not much else going on there. Punts, not too many. No, let's talk about kicking. Charlie Smythe with 1 field goal, longest of 56, and did not kick a single extra point. Meanwhile, Riley Patterson, 4-for-1 on field goals, longest of 48, and 1-for-1 on extra points. He totaled up 13 points kicking. Kai Kroger was the punter for New Orleans Saints, 6 total tackles, 6 total punts for 293 yards. And then he also had 1 that was a touchback, 3 of which were in the 20, longest of 60. And then Jake Bailey had 4 punts, 201 yards, no touchbacks, 2 of which were in the 20, and longest of 54 total yards. Now, all that being said, this Miami Dolphins team got it done defensively, offensively, outside of Devon Achane. You can point it back to Tua. Tua did not play well. 157 yards, 12 of 23. He didn't even complete over half of his passes. So, barely completed half of his passes. So not the best performance by Tua. I will credit the Saints defense. They looked pretty young, feisty, and getting to the ball very quickly. Outside of that, this was definitely a defense that Tua could have been capitalizing off of and putting a couple more points on the board, but unfortunately could not. Let's talk about the keys to victory and how the Dolphins either did or did not achieve them. First and foremost, the first one was get Devon Achane the damn ball. They did that. 134 total yards. Can't complain too much. He's the only one that was able to put the ball in the end zone for this Dolphins team today. So definitely a great performance by Achane there. Defensively, they got after the quarterback, got 4 sacks, 1 interception, strip sack, fumble recovered by the defense. So defense did their thing for sure. But Shuck was able to kind of will this team back almost into victory. It was a very close one, honestly, at the very tail end there. And it was definitely hurting to see it happen because, man, the writing was on the wall the whole game. Like, the Dolphins were never really able to get separation. And it all comes down to lack of execution offensively. You just got to point back to Tua not being efficient, not driving the ball where it needs to be, not putting players in position to go score. So, Devon Achane can run for 134 yards all he wants, but Tua just needs to find ways to exploit defenses in their pass coverage and really make them pay. I know you don't have Tyreek, but you haven't had Tyreek for a while. We've had decent games without him, so definitely got to move forward and find a way to be better, especially if this is the direction this Dolphins team is heading at. Right now, at 5-7, they have a favorable matchup against the Jets next week. Playing Pittsburgh the following week on Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh. Very hit or miss team, and this Dolphins team, at least, they're rolling right now, so they could definitely go in with some good momentum and ink out a win in Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. And you're talking about a 7-7 Miami Dolphins team heading into Sunday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals, and now things are going to get freaking weird, all right? So, don't know what to expect of this Miami Dolphins team, but I definitely do know that things are going in their favor, and like it or not, this Dolphins team is going to find themselves in some type of position. They're probably going to be 6-7 next week, but who knows? I mean, the Jets beat the Falcons last week, this week right now. I think a lot of things are just blatantly possible at any given moment in this NFL league. So, been a really weird NFL season. A lot of teams that were probably expected to be good aren't that great, and a lot of teams that were kind of mediocre last year, if not a lot of up and coming teams, able to make some noise this season. So really just overall kind of weird season, and it's going to get way weirder if this Miami Dolphins team finds himself back at 500, which I couldn't have told you that at 1-7. I lost all hope, and I'm sure a lot of other fans did too. But we're here now. We're getting there, possibly soon. Let's see. Outside of that, thank you guys so much for watching. Very fun game. Tailgate was not very fun in terms of the rain and stuff like that. You'll definitely catch that on the vlog, so stay tuned for that. That will be coming up this week. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.